Uh, just to say, we are very grateful to be featured on this AMA. We're
Yeah,
we're
we're
ex- we're very thankful. I mean, we recently launched just last Tuesday, and got featured by you guys and got invited to do this AMA is really grateful.
we appreciate that, man. And
Yeah,
we like our DAO projects in this community, and we really like metaverse and gaming. And when you
yeah,
combine the two, it gets our attention. So we definitely want to learn a lot about what you guys are doing and how you're doing it, and how
yeah.
we can help you guys grow and things like that. So we'll get into all of that today, and we'll go from there. All right?
Sure, sure, sure.
Is
Um,
Platoon Sergeant with you guys?
who?
Platoon Sergeant, this guy right here.
No, he's
All
just a
right,
community
Plantoon,
member.
let's get you back down to the audience, my friend. You can ask questions after we get these guys through a couple minutes, okay? I'm gonna have to. Sorry, bud. Oh, I don't want to kick you from the server. There you go. All right, you dropped off. All right, I guess we can start 2 minutes early. It's not gonna kill anybody. All right, so wanted to welcome you guys. I'm Crypto Sensei. I am the founder, one of the founders and creators of Cryptonaires, and so we like to find projects kind of like yours and bring you guys in to talk about them. So why don't you guys take a minute or two, introduce yourselves, who you are, what brought you to Papa DAO, and what kind of maybe experience you guys have, for other projects or in the blockchain space.
Sure, sure. First of all, hello everyone. Thank you for coming to this AMA. My name is Sushi, and my Discord name is Crypto Sushi Moon, and I'm the founder of Papa DAO, and I'm also have a front end dev here, Markman here. Um,
Thank you for having me.
yeah, this is Markman just spoke. Papa DAO is I'm gonna keep the introduction short. Papa DAO is a decentralized reserve currency protocol on the Avalanche network based on the Papa token. It is a vision that there will be many DAOs out there, and eventually, the all DAO's token price will converge to the backing of its treasury, the asset in the treasury. So kind of like a mutual fund. So when we think about this, we think a DAO's treasury is the direct representation of its community. So when people join a DAO, they are really joining a community that reflects their values much more so than a meme coin. So when we started Papa DAO, we set out to back and help to build the future of metaverse and gaming, and we have designed a roadmap to reflect that. And by that we mean we will, phase two coming up. We will add metaverse and gaming liquidity bonds, liquidity as a service, launchpad for metaverse and gaming projects. We really want to apply the Olympus DAO model to strictly to the metaverse and GameFi space, and not directly compete with any other Olympus DAO fox out there.
Cool, cool, cool. Mark, do you want to
Yeah,
give
thank
us
you.
a rundown of who you are and kind of what brought you to the project and a little bit of background? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, sure. So I was just essentially a community member who is happens to also be a developer, and as Papa DAO's growing so quickly, they've needed to bring some additional people on board. Um, you know, as we'll see, Sushi will get into it, but we do have a reasonable team behind it already. But that's why they're not extremely active in Discord either. So Sushi's constantly working with the developers, reviewing some marketing proposals from third parties and things like that. And someone like myself has had a really good opportunity to get involved with the team and sort of move over from a Web 2 job to a Web 3 job essentially. And I have a lot of interest in the space already, so I've sort of got that crypto background, but also a developer background. So really looking forward to working with the team more closely as we try to grow this thing.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. No, that's great. And then so it's you two. What else? Who else is on the team? What does it look like? How many people
So
are working behind the scenes?
so currently we have myself, the founder, and we have the front end dev, Mark Ren here, um, who is responsible for revamping our website and also the front end development, and potentially some marketing development as well. And I also have two blockchain developers and one community manager, and so four people in the core team in total. And also I'm really lucky to have a bunch of community mods helping to moderate the community. I mean, our community has grown so fast in the past 2 weeks. Our Discord went from 3,000 to nearly 6,000 now. And our Twitter page last week, when we launched, we had about less than 1,000 people, and now we are just crossed the 5,000 mark. And our Telegram page is, Telegram group, we had about less than 600 people, and now we just crossed the 2,000 people mark. So we expand really quickly, and there are a lot of new papas coming into our community. So I'm really grateful for the mods that joined us, and I guess I will talk a little bit about myself as well. I mean, I didn't get to talk about myself just now in the introduction. So the community know a bit more about me. I actually come from the startup space. I I founded a SaaS company. For those who don't know, it's a software as a service company in the e-learning space. And our clients were mainly banks, investment banks, fintech companies, and insurance companies. We consult, advise, design, and execute various training programs for their staff, mainly in technology training, such as agile thinking, data analysis, and product development. So I am very well versed and experienced in building technology product for users. I've been doing that from 2014 to 2019, and then I exited the company for for profit, and then I became a full-time independent trader. I started trading independently in late 2019, but it wasn't crypto. I started trading the E-mini. For those who know what that is, the SPOOS, the E-mini contract, the futures contract, and I've been since late 2019. I've been trading that full time, and then in mid 2020, when DeFi summer starts, I position myself a lot more into crypto, and I've been trading ever since then. And then, as I said, I founded Papa DAO 2 weeks ago. I mean, a bit longer before that, but Papa DAO launched 2 weeks ago, and here we are. And this is a little bit of my background.
No, man, that's great. It's good to understand kind of who you are and kind of where
Yeah.
you're coming from. A lot of these newer projects when they launch, they have about a team of about 5 or 6 people. So you guys are kind
Yeah.
of right in that average. Now that you guys are kind of growing, in size as far as the Discord, Telegram people knowing who you guys are you guys
Yeah.
planning on to bring more team members onto the team to develop, your phase 2 and stuff like that? I know you guys have plans to do growth hacking stage 2 validation, stuff like that. Are you guys going to be bringing on more people, or are you guys kind of just keeping the team tight for now?
Yes. I in terms of development, I think we are very efficient. We are very hard. Our developers are very hardworking and quick. I mean, I'm sure the community know that from the product that we have built. We have added a lot of bonds. For example, right now the current bonds offering are Papa, MIM, Papa, AVAX, AVAS, USDT, and the MIM bonds. And we are also adding for bonds very soon. That's pretty much ready. But there's a lot of testing that we need to do to make sure everything it goes right. I mean, this is no longer a small product. It really affects a lot of users. So we have to do a lot of good testing before we actually release to the public. So in the development side, I think we're doing okay, but of course, we are always looking to expand to scale quickly. On the marketing side, I've also been talking to our marketing campaigns we have actually began already. For some new Papa users, they have actually found us on various crypto news network that we have advertised on. If you search on YouTube, there are actually a few YouTube videos that cover Papa DAO. And also we are talking to a few bigger YouTubers and influencers about covering Papa DAO. So a lot of that is going on in terms of on the marketing end. But of course, I am also looking for a more experienced marketing manager who can handle the marketing side of Papa DAO. There are a few candidates I'm currently talking to, but uh, there isn't. but there's a lot of careful vetting going on because I don't want to rush into things. because this
Yeah.
this has grown into a project that potentially influence a lot of people. So there, of course, and since we grew so quickly, there's a lot of opportunists and scammers direct
Yes.
messaging me every day, talking to me about a potential collaboration. So I have to very carefully vet them. So yeah, but I'm always looking for partners and passionate people who are really interested in working with us. So if anyone out there listening to this AMA, if you do like to work with Papa DAO, please feel free to direct message me. I'm always willing to listen.
No, that's great. And a community manager is probably one of the most important jobs for a project because basically the community manager can either bring that project up to new heights or it can really sink that project. So,
Yeah,
I
agree.
think when picking a community manager, it's best to take your time, really understand who you're bringing on, make sure they have a background in what they're doing. Obviously, I know you're going to do that, but community manager is very, very important.
Yeah,
Being able to
agree.
communicate with people that are part of your project or that are holding tokens and things like that or supporting the project is very, very important. Not to get too far ahead of this, do you guys plan on doing like weekly AMAs and things like that in the Discord to kind of keep people updated? I know that's very important and people like to know kind of what's going on weekly. Do you guys plan to do that?
Um, yes, there is a plan to do it, but at this moment, because we are so we have grown so quickly and there's so many updates that we want to do. So we haven't formalized anything as of yet. But the thing is, I I have been constantly updating our Discord through the announcement channel during these 2 weeks. So and hoping to get everyone on the same page. So, but in the future, of course, we are thinking of bringing in a weekly AMA with the communities to keep everyone on the same page, on top of the announcement we already do in the announcement Discord channel.
No, that's great, man, and we look forward to listening to those weekly AMAs when you guys start doing them. So let's back up here. So why metaverse? Why gaming? And why? What made you kind of get into this? Why did you guys build Papa DAO around in the metaverse and gaming? What's the backstory on that?
Um, as I said earlier, I think there are a lot of DAOs out there. There are a lot of Olympus forks out there, and I personally think it's a very good model, but I also think they are all competing against each other, and I don't think that's the right way to do it if we want to do something new to this project. And coming from the startup space, I understand really strongly about uh, picking a niche, and for what really excites me is the metaverse and GameFi niche. That's why I wanted to apply this Olympus fork model, which is very successful already, into strictly to the metaverse and GameFi niche, by holding and holding metaverse and GameFi asset in its treasury by various ways, such as metaverse and GameFi liquidity bonds, metaverse and GameFi liquidity as a service, which we call Papa Pro, and also uh, allocating treasury into metaverse and GameFi projects. I mean, we are at such an early stage with metaverse and GameFi, and I think the demand for these products will only grow exponentially. And so that's why we want to have a head start. So we want to do this now, start this now. So by the time it develops, by the time the next AAA production games develop over the next few years, we will be ready. We will have the liquidity to help build this uh, product, to help back this product, to help build the future of metaverse and GameFi.
So I know you guys said that you guys wanted to do several different things, launch pad
Yeah.
included.
Yeah.
What does that look like, and like what's the time frame on you guys actually becoming some type of launch pad for some gaming projects?
Yeah. I think um, there are a lot of questions about the time frame about our fair faces, because when they look at our roadmap, they see our roadmap is actually divided into phases rather than a very strict timeline. And because I came from the startup space and the product development space, I and I'm sure a lot of developers in the community would agree with me. It's very hard to put a hard timeline, a very specific timeline on innovation, because we are trying to build something that hasn't been existed before. So we it's very hard to justify a very specific time period on when of that will be done. So instead of that, we want our work and our product to speak for itself. And so we, as a team, we listen and we respond and we build and quickly execute. And I'm sure that the community have seen the work we have put in. There isn't, I can't say for sure there is an exact timeline, but since we have already launched, we only launched 2 weeks ago, and we are already coming up finish of phase 1. And by phase 2, we will be really start to focus a lot more integration with Metaverse and GameFi, which I think the users of PAPA DAO will be really excited about.
Yeah, just to go over what phase 1, guys, is. So phase 1 is PAPA DAO launch, staking and bonding is live, PAPA and MIM bonds, application live, growth hacking stage 1 development launch, USDT bonds and more stablecoin bonds, AVAX bonds, and then CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap listing, dashboard updates, and 4.4 bonds in phase 1, right? And so
Yes,
you guys
that's
have
right.
completed almost all this, and it sounds like 4.4 bonds are, you guys are testing them in the background just to make sure they're right before they go
Yep.
live on the dashboard, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Awesome. And
Um,
then, oh yeah, sorry, if you want to speak on some of that, please.
sorry. Yes. We launched only about 2 weeks, and we're coming up to finish up phase 1. So I'm really proud of the team of accomplishing that. And and also we and I said as I said, by phase 2 we will begin a lot more concentration into actual integration with Metaverse in GameFi project, and by that our first introduction will be Metaverse in GameFi bonds, liquidity bonds, where users can provide the LP tokens of the Metaverse and GameFi project and bond PAPA with it.
Do you have some metaverse projects in mind? Like, do you guys, have partnerships in the background you guys are talking to? I mean, can you tell us any information about that?
Um, as I said, because of Metaverse and GameFi is such an early stage, we are not entirely sure which project will take off, but we want to be at an early stage. But at the same time, I want to know, we are definitely looking at Metaverse and GameFi project on the Avalanche chain first. And on top
Yeah.
of that, there's one particular news aspect I guess I can share with the community is I actually had a very casual chat with one of the groups who invested and consulted and advised some of the biggest names in metaverse crypto games right now, and they seem to like to have a further conversation with us. But I can't share any names right now due to legal reasons. But I'm very excited about what PAPA DAO can bring to our users.
Fair enough, man. No, that's really interesting, and we hope to hear some of those updates soon. Getting partnerships and getting listings and exchange stuff like
Yeah.
that—that's very important. So we'd love
Yes.
to know as soon as possible when you can.
Yeah.
Any other type of further partnerships that you guys can discuss? I know you guys are only 2 weeks old, but I mean, I kind of have to ask. Anything else that maybe that we should know or
Yeah.
that's going on in the background?
Yes. And again, because a lot of these partnerships are very new and potentially confidential. So I can't actually
Yeah.
say any names. I can't name drops any names due to legal reasons. But if our users see there is actually plan for centralized listing on a listing on centralized exchanges in phase 2. And I know it's supposed to be a phase 2 task, but in fact, I have actually been talking to two exchanges specifically regarding listing. And I cannot name any names due to legal reasons, but what I can say is one of them is actually a top 30 exchange by daily volume.
Fair enough. How about we do this? Can you tell me what exchanges you would like to see Papa DAO on instead of telling us, who would you like to work with? Where do you want to see Papa DAO? Do you want to see it on a KuCoin, BitTrue? I mean, where do you want to see your project?
um, I think of course, we would like to be in the top 20 exchange.
Yeah.
I think this is the goal. But we are too early to say that. But so but I'm quite optimistic with the exchanges I'm currently talking to. So yeah, and one of them is a top 30 exchange, which I'm really happy about.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what that is. So, quick question. So, another DAO that I'm speaking to is Cerberus DAO, and they're basically using meme coins, and bonding. So, what they're doing is like, let's say you're taking SHIB, you're burning your SHIB, you're putting it into a bond, and then you're getting Cerberus down that. So, is that kind of what you guys are going to do with some of these gaming projects? You guys are going to make, let's just say, it's a game called Orbit or whatever. You're gonna have like Orbit bonds where you're gonna be putting Orbit in to create Papa DAO tokens. I mean, what does that gaming side look like?
Okay. I think that's a very good question. And and I think that kind of justify the my previous point about there will be many DAOs out there. There will be some DAO who is specifically or helping to back meme coins, and there will be some DAO that's specifically helping to back infrastructure projects. And Papa DAO is a very niche DAO who is specifically trying to help build the metaverse and GameFi ecosystem. And by that, we have four ways to try to achieve that. And first one is the metaverse and GameFi bonds, which you previously just mentioned, is where users can provide as a specific LP token of their project of a project of a metaverse and GameFi project, and they can deposit these LP tokens into the Papa DAO treasury and bonds Papa with it. And this is the first step, and the second step is which is we call the Papa Pro, which is very similar to the service Olympus Pro is already doing, is where we will provide a metaverse liquidity as a service to help protocols to secure liquidity, where users will provide the LP token of the metaverse and GameFi project, and to bond, and in recipient they will receive the governance tokens. For example, if there's a game like Orbit, they can provide the LP tokens of Orbit, and then to bond it to the liquidity as a service platform, and they will receive Orbit governance token in return. This is slightly different to the metaverse and GameFi bonds I previously just mentioned in the first step, where they will receive Papa in the first step, but in this step they'll receive the governance token itself. And on the third step is we will launch in a phase 3 of Papa DAO roadmap. We will launch a metaverse and GameFi launchpad, where the goal is to help new metaverse and GameFi projects to take off, where Papa holders will be eligible for these initial IDO, initial tax offering. And on
Yeah.
the fourth step is actually utilizing our treasury and actively investing into metaverse and GameFi projects, tokens and digital land, that kind of stuff. Looking ahead, I think we are still very early stage of the metaverse and GameFi projects. And we expect the really AAA project will be released in the next few years. So I think right now we are in a very strong position by being early and by developing and building a liquidity now. So by then we will have enough liquidity to actually make some impact.
Yeah, no, I know you guys are real busy, so it's good that you guys are through phase 1. So phase 2, it looks like you guys are going to work on treasury vault strategies. You guys are going to launch Papa Bank lending and borrowing protocol. Will you talk a little bit about what Papa Bank is, and is that kind of like Hector Bank? I mean, is that similar to that, or walk us through what Papa Bank is?
Yes. Papa Bank is a lending and borrowing protocol, where users can borrow and lend all within the Papa ecosystem, where users can use their stake Papa to borrow, and they would also can lend out the stable coins if they don't want to be subject to the Papa token volatility. And then the differences between the lending and borrowing we will earn interest in that, and then that interest will be deposited back into the Papa treasury.
Cool, man. No, you guys are working on a lot of stuff here. I mean, I got all phases in front of me right here and just looking through it.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about audits, guys. When can we expect our first audit? Who's it going to be through? Audits do make people feel better. That the project has been at least checked out and cleared for the smart contract. When can we expect an audit, and who are we going to for that?
In the in the audit, we are planning over the phase two. Currently, we are unaudited. We are a Olympus DAO fork, who have been audited twice. As I always say to our users, so we really do stay cautious doing that. But we definitely will implement audit twice. Sorry, we definitely implement audit in phase two, and also we have GitHub ready, our GitHub ready, and we'll be constantly updating our GitHub as well for our users to see our code.
Brilliant. No, that's good. Sooner the better too with audits. People really
Yeah.
do when they go check out your project, they'll go to your website and seeing like a Certic audit or hack an audit really does make people feel a little bit safer about the project.
Yeah.
Also, what's Papa Pro?
PAPA DAO is I just discussed is the liquidity as a service where users can deposit their LP tokens of Metaverse and GameFi projects, and in return they will receive that governance tokens in return.
Got it, got it, got it. Just want to make sure that we covered that. And then also, you guys are working on Papa NFT, Papa Bridge. You want to go through is that going to be an NFT that we're going to buy that's going to help us get passive income, or what is the Papa NFT?
The Papa NFT is at phase three. We are
Yep, phase three.
we are still uh, thinking decidedly what will be, but of course Papa holders will be the first one to be able to buy these Papa NFT and potentially earn some passive rewards from it. And as
Nice.
for Papa Bridge, is the costing bridge. I mean, at the moment we are on Avalanche, so we in the future we do hope to expand to further chains, so allowing more users to come into Papa and be able to use Papa.
Quick question. Why the name Papa DAO? Is that something that you came up with? Is that a nickname, or like where do we
Uh,
come up with the name?
we want to be the Papa of all Metaverse and GameFi projects.
I like it. All right, hey, so that your name actually makes sense. So that's pretty good. Mark, how are you doing on the development side? How are things going? What are you guys really excited about working on over the next couple months? What does the roadmap look like?
Well, I guess
Look for you.
it's important to note that sort of since I've come into it, we've been working on the roadmap a little bit as well. So it's quite likely that you're going to see a roadmap upgrade come out with a little bit more detail over the next coming week, and that's still in talks. So um, we're going to see some changes there. There's a lot coming from the community that we do want to implement as well. So some really positive feedback there, as well as some negative, obviously. Like as sort of we've drifted a little bit lower than obviously what the founder and myself would like to see us sitting at. We are looking at some different options and how we can ramp things up, I guess, from a marketing point of view. And part of that would be front end development, essentially, because the web application as it stands at the moment is not really front run with a decent landing page or website that really tells you where we're going with this project and
Yeah.
indicates what sort of partners we're going to have and that sort of thing. And as it develops, we're going to want to be talking about those sort of elements. But we're expecting to, we're getting really good feedback from the community around, wrapped stake tokens in particular, centralized exchanges that we might be able to list onto, whitelisting the token on Trader Joe's so that it's a little bit more open to a greater audience. Those sort of things will start to get added into the roadmap. Purely from a development point of view, there's just as I said, we're just not really telling people what Papa DAO is, and I think that has then led us to be put in alongside a lot of these sort of Greek designed ohm forks that really add absolutely nothing in the way of innovation but hype, and it's just marketing design. So obviously we don't want to go too far in that other direction either, but we need to start talking about what the devs are actually doing and increase that communication. And part of that will be a greatly improved experience on the website through new website design, and roadmap actually being hosted on there as well, as it's updated over the next week or so.
Yeah, and also too, guys, from a marketing standpoint, if you guys create like these nice 30 to 60-second videos talking about, what Papa is, where they're going, a little bit of the roadmap, all this stuff, Papa Pro, Papa Bank, NFTs, like all this stuff in there, you can get that shared a lot and get really good organic growth. You know what I mean? What you don't want to do is go pay a bunch of people who just shill tokens to kind of push your project. You really want to try to work with influencers, good researchers that'll talk to you about your project and introduce that to their audiences and stuff like that. So, I would say definitely work on that if you guys can.
That is
Yeah,
excellent feedback. That's definitely something we've talked about.
yeah.
We're really adverse to just getting, crypto pumpers out there or paid shills on YouTube and that sort of thing to be pumping the project, because obviously it is a legitimate project. We don't want to be aligned with those sort of
Yeah.
communities necessarily, and also it doesn't bring long-term value to the holders, because people are going to come in and out so quickly. So yeah, it's definitely that we'll look to do a bit further.
Yeah, especially because with organic growth, you're going to get actually, Papa fans, right? You're going to get people that find you guys, maybe listen to this AMA or other stuff you put out, that actually really start, getting behind your project and really start believing what you're doing. And then when you go off and you maybe pay a shiller, you really just get a hollow response. So I think you guys are taking the right approach with that, and working with influencers. And also too, let me know. I know a couple people around the crypto space. I can kind of help you guys out too if you need that. So,
Sounds good.
is
Sounds
there
good. Thank
anything
you.
kind of I haven't asked about that you guys would like to talk about on your project?
Hmm. Uh, oh yes, I think the marketing point of view that our, our users are very asking about, and also want to stress that since we launched 2 weeks ago, our social have actually more than double and tripled in terms of Telegram, Discord, and Twitter. And we have actually launched various ad campaigns on various crypto news network, and there's also a few YouTube videos out already. And we are also talking to influencers, as you said. Education is really the key. We don't want to just pump and dump a coin. So we are working on with YouTubers who have very big influence, and potentially work on some educational content that we would love to share with the public soon. Also, we are working on something called the Papa Day, which I think our loyal Papa stakers will love. To take advantage of that, you will need to be staking Papa, and I think people, loyal stakers, will love Papa Day.
Ooh, I'm excited about Papa Day. It sounds right up my alley. What I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, gentlemen, is open it up to our audience. We got about 380 people listening here. I know there's probably some questions out here. If anybody wants to raise their, oh look, we already got one. So yeah, raise your hand, guys. We'll bring you up, and you can ask your questions directly to the Papa team. Let's do it. Blue Dex is coming up, and then we got Longs coming up. Oh, cool. We got lots of questions. This is good stuff. All right. So, Blue Dex, why don't you, what's your question, my friend? What you got? All right. If Blue's having a little bit of voice trouble, no problem. Long, can you, you have a question?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we hear
Yes,
you.
yes.
We hear you perfectly, sir.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, guys. So, my first question is, in regards to, growth of metaverse and gaming projects, I understand you can't give any names out. Can you give us a timeline as to when you would expect some announcements about partnerships? Because I think, from our perspective, it's like, okay, we understand everything you're doing and it all makes sense. And the model has already been proven. But because you're very niche specific, it's like so much of the success of Papa DAO is going to run off of, your ability to actually bring good projects on board as partners. So I don't want any names. I don't want, anything like that. But just how long until we can expect some announcements?
Um, we're quickly finishing our phase one, and by phase two, we do expect to actually add metaverse and GameFi project integration. So as I said earlier, I did had a casual chat with one of the groups who invested in advising, consulted, and incubated some of the biggest names in crypto metaverse. So it's still very early stage, but I do hope to get it as quickly as possible.
Okay, great. And then just if I can have one follow-up
Yeah.
question, if that's cool?
Please.
Okay.
What you got?
So in terms of management of treasury, do I understand it correctly that you guys will actually be investing in projects that you like as well? So we're not going to just sit there and hold stable coins?
Yes, this is one of the 4 steps that I previously mentioned about the actual integration about metaverse and GameFi projects. With the fourth one is actually investing into metaverse and GameFi projects. For example, tokens, digital land, and possibly NFTs. And
Great.
yeah,
Great. Yeah, I
No,
think
that's great.
that's smart. Okay.
Long, did you have a follow up, my friend? Are you good?
No, that was good. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
thank you
Appreciate
for
you,
your
man.
question.
Hey, Blue Dex, did we get your resolve with your audio issue, sir?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah. What's up, man? What you got for us?
Hey, first of all, thanks so much. You guys actually retweeted an ohm fork analysis I did a couple days ago, where Papa DAO is kind of positioned as probably one of the best investments right now, and I wrote a big article on it as well. So appreciate that. But as a
Thank you
follow
for
up to that,
featuring us.
oh yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, as a follow up to that, you guys definitely sound really professional. Great roadmap. I think one of the things, of course, I'm not too worried about the audits, right? Because like you said, you're forking Olympus DAO, that's already been audited. I think what people really want to see, though, are a little bit more of the controls around the treasury contract, namely maybe some doxed multi-signers and like a 24-hour time lock that helps prevent ruggability, so at least people could see it coming from like a day ahead of time. Generally, people have those controls. It just legitimizes the project a lot more, and looking to get your thoughts on that.
Okay. Thanks for that. Currently, the treasury contracts manager is the DAO contract, which the DAO contract is multi-sig, and no time lock is currently in place, because that would make frequent updates really difficult at this current moment. Because just last week we had an issue with staking, and there were a lot of users who had issues with staking, and so we have to move things quickly and solve it quickly and move it to version 2. And we're also adding 4.4 very soon, and also stable combo offerings. But that being said, by the time we finish our phase 1 and just before we launch the DAO, we are actively looking in the implementation of time lock of 24 hours.
Excellent. Appreciate the clarity on that.
You got another question, Blue Dex?
Oh yeah, sure.
Great
Real quick, I guess just curiosity. What made you choose Avalanche versus any of the other chains out there as the first one?
I think I personally really like Avalanche because of its cheap fees, and then I think the metaverse and gaming projects, a lot of metaverse and gaming projects will be built on Avalanche, potentially ETH layer 2, and Solana, and Phantom. And so I have to choose between 1 and 2, and I really liked what Wonderland has done. So that's why I decided to build on Avalanche. And of course, Avalanche users are really already very familiar with the Olympus DAO model, so that will kind of make it easier to get user adoption in the first stage.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, thanks for the clarity. That's all I got. Good luck. I'll definitely be investing and following very closely for a while. And let me know if you need any help with any other marketing efforts. I love writing about this space.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Blue Dex, do me a favor. Will you add me on Discord? I'd love to chat with you. And actually, I want to read that article you wrote, if that's okay. I try to
Sure.
add you, but you're not adding friends right now.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I'm very, very private on Discord, all the scams and everything. But yeah, I'll do that for you.
Yeah, if not, reach out to me on Twitter, man. I'd just love to read some of your stuff. You sound like you're very educated in the space, and I'd love to learn from you. So,
Sure thing. Yeah, I'll send a request now.
thank you, sir. All right, so who is next? Is it Long or is it Tyler? I think it's Tyler. Tyler, what you got?
Yes, hi. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just so first, just want to thank thank the devs for coming on. I just have a couple questions. First questions, and I think maybe Mark Mann alluded to it. In terms of the website and the dashboard, are there any plans to add any of the like graphs and charts similar to Olympus DAO that shows on a single page how the treasury doing, runway available, percentage of PAPA DAO or PAPA that state, because it just it gives a very clear snapshot and just a single visual of how the project's the health of it and how it's looking. Are there any plans on updating that?
Yeah, I might grab this one because I'm working in this area, but there's definitely plans to add additional charts to the dashboard. There's a number of stats that we've identified that are, really critical. I think that we should list on there. Obviously, all of this can be viewed at the contract level as well, can be worked out, but we want to make it easy for investors to understand, where we're sitting at in regards to backing per token, the potential runway, those sort of things. We're constantly getting feedback on those. So it's something that we do want to add. But to do that, we also need to, sorry, just getting a bit of feedback here, Floyd. In order to do that, we also need to get our backend devs really, or our blockchain devs really focused on that. And at the moment, they've been 100% dedicated to 4.4 bonds. That said, it'll probably be the next thing that we move on to. So it's definitely in the pipeline. It's coming very, very soon. It's actually listed on the roadmap for phase one. So before we close out phase one, it will be happening. But our devs,
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
yeah.
And I just one follow-up question. Crypto Sushi,
Sorry, I can't hear
being
you
in
properly.
being in the
Sorry,
Discord
we're just getting a bit of feedback from Floyd.
Hold
I
on,
think
Tyler.
it is.
He can't hear you properly.
to be
Why
that
don't
there's
you
a
tell me?
misconception of how like, home with the
Sorry, I
backing.
can't hear you.
Hey,
sorry,
hey,
So a lot of
Tyler.
people have like this
Yeah.
misunderstanding
Tyler.
that it can't go below the backing, and that if it does below backing, hello.
Yeah, Tyler, he can't hear you, man. Can you do me a favor? Can you type your question to me? I guess they're getting feedback from you. Can you type your question to me and I'll read it out loud to them? Is that possible?
Sure. I'll go ahead and send it.
I appreciate it, man. We'll get right on that.
I can hear you
It's all
now.
clear now. We've muted.
Oh wait, he can hear you now,
one of the
Tyler. Maybe
members.
try to do it right now.
Okay, I was just being in the Discord. It seems that there's a lot of type fork projects, and specifically in PAPA DAO, that have a misconception of the mechanics of it. That the price can never go below backing, and then if it does go below backing, there needs to be a buyback away. My understanding, I mean, that's not at all how the mechanics of forks work. Just kind of maybe just explain just so people here they can maybe get a better understanding of that.
Yeah. Okay. So the backing. Some users have concern about the current trading price, trading below the backing price, as it is shown by our dashboard. I understand there may be some concerns, but I think this really goes to show how strong our treasury is in comparison to our market cap. I mean, if you look at other DAOs out there, their trading price are actually trading multiple premiums to their backing price. But their treasury is not as big and strong as we are, and to my understanding, there is another project whose trading price is also trading below the backing price. But so I guess one way to look at it is we are actually undervalued in comparison to other DAO out there, and some users are also concerning about would there be a buyback and burn. And I think this thing, we as a team, we take this very seriously, and we don't want to take any decision hastily. And in the current macro environment where mostly everything is risk off, a buyback and burn in this market condition would just lead to a higher exit position made for people who are on the fence about selling, who would otherwise hold until a natural recovery occurred, and would be less likely to sell. So if we buy back and burn now to go back to the backing price, more selling would occur, and it will go back under the backing price again, leading to another buyback, draining the treasury. And so I think the market psychology is really important, whether we decide to actually buy back and burn. But what I can say is, I think from our backing price, we do have a very strong treasury in comparison to our market cap.
Yeah,
Yes,
fantastic.
thank you for that.
Because I didn't quite get to.
Just thank you for elaborating on that for me.
Thank you, Tyler. Mark, were you saying something, my friend?
Yeah, I was just going to extend on that because there was a bit of distortion before I didn't get to finish around the back end just quickly, and it's kind of related. Obviously, we want to see some updated figures on the dashboard that are going to highlight sort of how we're sitting in regards to market cap, total value of the treasury assets, what those treasury assets might include, the amount of protocol owned liquidity that that Papa DAO actually has, which is near 100%, which is these are the sort of things that people want to see, the runway that we have, and that the runway is quite reasonable, because it's not something you always see with these other projects that are essentially just offering an APY and don't have any other inherent value beyond that. And just to extend on that, when I looked at this this morning, we were sitting at about a $7.1 million market cap, which is obviously something that we as stakeholders as well aren't keen to see. We want to see it grow, and that's why the devs have been so heavily focused on, rather than the dashboard, working on these 4-4 bonds. Because when we look at other market participants and other DAOs that have implemented the 4-4 bonds, there's only been one, which is on a completely different network. They're trading at, say, 20 times our market cap, 20 times growth from where we're sort of sitting at this current depressed level. So it is a really positive outlook, I think, if we do implement the 4-4 bonds and be the first on Avalanche to do it. Even players like Time and haven't been able to do that, so it'll be really exciting to see where we develop. And we just need to keep reminding our Discord members that we have only been active for a week and a half, so some of these things do take time to implement. We're definitely going to get there, but we just need a little bit of patience sometimes from the community.
No, thank you, Mark, for that. Real quick, Tyler, do you want to go back down to the audience, my friend? I don't want to kick you out of the whole AMA, so just move back to the audience, and we'll get you down there.
Sure.
I think we got Long Hodl is next, and we do have 8 other people wanting to speak, so let's try to keep it to like 1 or 2 questions if we can, and then that way we don't keep these guys here for 3 hours. But we want to get through all the questions. I know everyone has certain things they want to know, so let's get to it. So Long, what you got, brother?
Okay, thanks, man. So, I noticed that at some point, I think the bond discount was like 20%. And I'm just curious to know, how do you what's your approach on balancing making the bonds attractive, which is good for the treasury, if I'm not mistaken, but then it's kind of negative for the stakers or the holders, because then nobody's staking, they're bonding instead and then selling. That whole dynamic, if you could just share some thoughts about that.
Yeah. So I think if community recall, there was a very sudden formal pump. I think just a few days ago, where we shot up by a few 100%, and by then the bond discount were really high because of because of the formal pump, basically. So trying to drive selling pressure. But when we get really bearish, the bond discount will turn negative and encouraging more people to stake, which is what is happening right now. That's the kind of dynamic. Yeah.
So yeah, to answer it as well, to just extend on that, it is almost a self-balancing system that
Right.
over in theory, and with all loan forks, that at a certain point the bond rate is going to be a better return on investment. So people do that, and it does add to the treasury, which allows us to build something bigger than what it would be without those bonds coming in. And at other times, obviously, there are the staking rewards that reduces the on-market selling. However, I think in talks that we've had, we've been very aware that the bond discounts have been probably quite excessive, and we are going to look at, well, we have already looked at sort of reducing that bond discount level to try and incentivize holding a little bit more, and there'll be more on that coming.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, Long, you good? Do you have a quick follow up, or are you good?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I just don't know how to get myself off the stage so that.
It's okay. Look towards the bottom. You should see a button that says "Move back to audience." It's a little person with an arrow on it. Look at you, man. See, man, we're problem solving here. Flowed, what question do you have for our founders here in the dev? Oh, yes.
Yes,
It's
a bit
very strong.
noisy, but it's okay.
It's a bit noisy. Could you maybe let's try it. What you got?
Yes, we do. After we finish at phase one, we do have a. We are looking to. We're looking at different mechanism in terms of governance. So when we launch a DAO, we are definitely one of them is a snapshot where stake PAPA holders will be able to vote on various proposals on important community decisions such as audit, funding, and listing, that kind of thing.
Does that answer your question, Claude? You good?
Is it the timeline is the beginning of phase two? If you look at the roadmap, we do have plans. After we finish our phase one, we do have plan to launch it DAO as soon as we can, so we can have the DAO community as a community to decide the use of treasury and DAO, that kind of thing.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate your question. Ziff, why don't we get you up here? And then real quick, before you ask your question, I sense Josh. I invited you to speak. You need to click the green button at the top to come on the stage, my friend. Go for it, Ziff.
Hey guys, just kind of circle back on the bonding in connection with the backing per PAPA. There were some questions in the Discord earlier, like a week ago or so, that it was just ambiguous. Is the backing per PAPA, is that on the diluted PAPA, meaning amount of PAPA that will be created after the bonds have matured, or is it on the current amount of PAPA that's today, not including the amount of dilution that would happen via the bonding?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Ziff, do you want to say it again? Yeah, here's a good question. Yeah.
I speak fast sometimes. No worries. With the questions is related to the bonding question as well as the backing per PAPA question kind of earlier. There was some questions in our Discord or some comments like a week ago about the backing per PAPA. Is that on a diluted PAPA basis, meaning that the current amount of PAPA that's outstanding today plus the amount that we realized via the bonding, or is that on the current amount of PAPA not including that?
At the moment, the dashboard uses the same format as Olympus DAO and also Hector DAO. And so we wanted to use that because we wanted for people to easier to compare like for like. So that's the dashboard statistic, and that is based on the first number that you can see, which is the number on the left, which is the current circulating PAPA.
Okay, but it is consistent with Ohm and others.
Yes, it is consistent with Ohm and others. If you check on the dashboard, it is the same. I mean, not the same price, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
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 Ziff, my friend, did you have another question, or is that all you got?
That's it. I'm gonna sit myself down. Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Josh, you were next. What you got? Oh, here, let me unmute you. Sorry, I master muted. I have God control. All right, Josh, what you got?
All right. I actually want to talk about. It's a question. A question. I want to ask a question, and looking at it, I'm very much interested about new investors coming into this project, right? And looking at it, I was actually looking into other projects that are similar to PAPA DAO, and such are what's it called? Nemesis, DAO, Wonderland, Time, what other one again? Olympus, and all of that. So I was actually thinking that all these investors who are into all these projects, what are your plans? Like, what are your plans of bringing these investors into PAPA DAO? Like, I feel that if we should or you have a strategy of revealing PAPA DAO, this new project, to those investors, they are actually going to come in because it's new and the price is very, very low, like low than all the projects they are into.
Yes. First of all, thank you for that. Pointing that out. I uh, I think a lot of people realize that we, as PAPA DAO, we have a very strong treasury, for our market cap, and our market cap is actually quite low as well. So I think that is an attractive point for the current DAO investors. And also a second point is we are not trying to compete with other metaverse. Sorry, we're not trying to compete with other Olympus DAO models out there who is trying to be the reserve currency protocol. We are really niche focused on trying to help build metaverse and GameFi project by the things that I previously discussed, the 4 steps that I previously discussed, and it is distinguished into our roadmap. And as time go by, as we move into phase 2, a lot of that will become a lot more obvious. And of course, I understand the current market we're currently in is that there are many DAOs out there, and it is getting a very competitive. So we are definitely working on various marketing strategies that will potentially bring in a lot more investors from other DAOs. And one of them we are currently actively working on is the PAPA Day, which I think loyal PAPA stakers will love.
Thank you for that.
All right.
Josh,
No.
does that answer your question, my friend?
No. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Appreciate your question. All right. So I think next we had Taco Mago. I did that really bad. I'm sorry, man. Taco Tamago.
Yeah, you're all good.
All right, brother.
Hey,
What you got?
guys? All right, fine. I'll try to keep this brief, but before I ask my question, I just wanted to say I've been in the Discord for about a week, and I just wanted to shout out and say thank you to like the community moderators as well as just everyone, all the staff in there, all the administrators, because it's been a lot of mixture of positive and negative energies, and I know they're volunteering their time, and it's been awesome kind of seeing it get to this point, and congratulations to you guys on the AMA and everything.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Happy to have you
absolutely.
in the community.
Yeah, thank you. So my question is pretty much about the 4-4 bonding. I'm kind of curious, as an investor and as someone who's kind of new to this model, what makes the 4-4 bonding so obviously everyone's really excited about it. In your eyes, what makes it so special and what makes it something that's going to set this DAO apart? I'm just curious to hear more about that.
I think 4-4 bonding is a added feature to the current 1-1 bonding we currently have. And for those who are not familiar with 4-4 bonding, 4-4 bonding are actually very similar to 1-1 bonding in the sense that they're purchased in the same way, but there are a few small differences. 4-4 bonding rewards are actually paid in PAPA, stake PAPA, instead of PAPA itself. So that means your bonds reward will compound as they are vested, meaning that you won't need to stake them after you claim them. But also because they are paying out in stake PAPA, so during the time that your vesting period, you're actually benefiting from the compounding APY rewards that apply to your stake PAPA reward. So there are a few mechanics that will be slightly different. 4-4 bonding will, instead of a 5-day vesting period, where users can claim during the 5 day. There is a single 4 day vesting period for bonding, and usually because they are usually more profitable, there will be a shorter supply than the 1-1 bonding itself. And of course, the discount will usually be a bit smaller than the traditional 1-1 bonding. I would say this is an added feature for people who like to have 4-4 bonding, who don't mind being locked up for 4 day. But for some people who like to claim and stake or claim and do other things with their Papa, 1-1 bonding may be better for them.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. Well, I really excited and appreciate what you guys are doing, and I believe in this project really fully. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Love the energy, man. Keep that up, man. We need more people like you in crypto. So appreciate
For
that.
sure. Whatever I can do to help.
Awesome, guys. Awesome. All right, I think it's Timeless. What's up, Timeless? What you got for? Oh wait, I gotta unmute you. I'm sorry.
I just unmuted myself. I wanted to make sure I was muted.
Oh, you're
Thank
the
you guys
best. Thank you. How are
for
you?
hosting this AMA. I am doing great, and I know you guys have been super busy, and I have been trying to get questions to the devs. So I'm glad I was able to get on here. I do have just a quick question as just a background on the project. Are you guys part of any other projects, or is this your first project? And are you guys full time, or is this just a side thing to what you are already doing professionally?
This is not my first startup. As I said earlier, I came from the startup space. I founded a SaaS company, which I exited. And then I started trading full time in the traditional US futures market, which we call the E-mini, for those who know what that is. And then I also started to focus a lot more on crypto projects in 2020. And also, I am full time doing this, and I have hired 2 full-time developers doing this, and and as well a front-end developer, Markman. He is currently helping out, and hopefully in the future, we will be able to work more closely together.
Good. Okay. And then I have just a more in-depth question about the treasury, because I was reading the docs and everything like that, and I do like that you guys are going to be working on the website, because I think as investors we do need those snapshots to be able to really analyze the projects that we are in. But with the treasury section, it states that there's variables, and the team chooses who receives the profits. So what are the variables that is determined and used to who gets profits, and who is all added into this decision, as well as a multi-sig part of it, so we know as investors our money is actually being protected and not a way to be siphoned out the back.
Yeah. In terms of profit, that's actually meaning the bonding profit. So meaning that currently is 90% to the stakers, with 10% going to the DAO.
Okay, and then can I get one more small question, Crypto Sensei?
Of course, please. Whatever you'd like. Great question.
And the team that has been issued PAPA in the startup, which most teams are, is there a lockup period, and is there provisions put onto or is it a rolling lockout, so we as investors don't get dumped on when the team gets theirs unlocked if it's locked?
Currently, we had the LP tokens that we deposited into the Papa treasury. We minted tokens, and those minted tokens have actually been sent to various wallet for potential team marketing and development, and they are subject to they're currently all staking right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to be more active in the Discord. That's a lot harder. I'm been active in the project since day 2 on the Telegram. I like to see the motivation and how it's moving ahead, but I have been one of the first investors, and I And if we can build some of the Telegram just a little bit easier for some people that use Telegram, that would be amazing. Looking
I
forward to
really
the
appreciate
progress
it.
of the project. Thank you so much.
Really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Timeless. Great questions. Appreciate it. Danny W. What's up, Danny? What you got? You want to unmute and ask these guys your question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly,
Yeah.
Danny. What's going on?
Great stuff, thank you. Apologies if this was answered earlier in the discussion. Unfortunately, I was late joining. Just a very quick question from me. Is there a plan to add a wrap function to the dashboard?
I understand. This is the concern for some of the users due to geographic location issues, and we do have plans to adding a wrap function. Hopefully by the end of phase 1, just at the beginning of phase 2.
Great stuff. That's everything from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Great question. Great question. Camilo, what's up? What's your question? Like to unmute yourself and have at it, please.
Sure. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you just fine.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for taking my question. So my question is with respect to just the education in general of Papa DAO. I think most people would agree right now that crypto in general, if you were to, let's say, walk up to somebody in the street and ask them what is Bitcoin, they might not know, right? So what is Papa DAO going to do to be able to close the gap with respect to educating new investors and just educating folks in general about crypto?
We are formalizing a marketing content plan, and we are also talking with YouTubers and influencers about publishing various content, and not just asking influencers to help shill and pump a coin. We actually want to talk to influencers who are passionate about our project and who is interested in educating educating their audience about Papa DAO. So yeah, this is the step we're going for.
Great. Thank you for answering my question.
Thank you, Camilo. Is that all you got, brother? You got anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. I think the next person is Home Papa. You want to unmute and ask your question, please?
Yeah, hey. So great AMA so far. And people in the Discord and Papa probably already know my stance on certain issues. I am a supporter of the project, and I want to reiterate that the points that Sushi himself raised earlier on regarding how, frankly, Papa is undervalued is definitely true. If you take a look at some of the other projects in the ecosystem, in AVAX, their MCAP to treasury multiples, that's quite out of whack as compared to what Papa actually spots. As a really huge war chest that Papa has, and most of it is actually in stables. So I genuinely believe, we have a great war chest. Things actually that we have the recipes for success. What we really need would be actually getting eyes on the project, right? The real fight here is on mind share, right? So what's being done to address this, and any hints on like what Papa Day is, and is that what's gonna possibly try to address this, because there are certain gimmicks, I think we are all quite aware of what those gimmicks are in this own fork community right now, and we can see that these gimmicks are actually working out, for a lot of these other projects, and some of them actually do even have like a stated objective, whereas Papa has a stated objective, already has a healthy treasury. So I believe that running such gimmicks, in the short term, it's not necessarily going to hurt the project in the long run, and will help bootstrap necessary liquidity to then transition into the next phase, which is what will set Papa apart from the rest as well, right? Yeah.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate the commitment you have within our community, and the suggestions that you have during in a community, and also I also understand that we are in a very different market environment to when the first Olympus DAO forks launch, and that there are many out there. And even though I would like to think that our fundamental and our product can speak for itself, but in the short term, there are a lot of battles that we have to fight in order to get a lot more mindshare and more eyes onto our project. So the team really think really hard about this, and there are certain steps that we are trying to do, and but we don't want to overdo it. But there's one thing that we are currently working on is the Papa Day, which I think our users, our loyal Papa stakers will love this. But of course, you have to be staked to benefit, to take advantage of Papa Day. Yes, it may be gimmicky, but it is also necessary if we want to grow to a size that we are happy with, in order to fully take advantage of what we're trying to achieve in phase 2 and phase 3.
Yeah, if I could just add to that, because I've really appreciated the feedback and suggestions that you've been putting forward. There's some excellent ones there. What just some of the suggestions have been very, very strong and would definitely help to increase awareness and mind share for sure. What we've been talking about, the reason we haven't just flicked the switch on it overnight is because we want to ensure that there's equity there for token holders. A lot of these other systems that might reward you with 3 billion% APY or redistribute the treasury to members are really just sort of a Ponzi scheme that will crash eventually. If you're redistributing treasury funds simply directly to members, that's obviously not creating actual long-term growth and value in the token. So we're thinking about the tokenomics around it as to how we can both provide a benefit to our loyal stakers and ensure that they're not just rebase hunting and things like that, but also grow this to the point that we're using the treasury wisely and effectively, for the long term. So definitely something in place, and I definitely think you'll be happy with the sound of Papa Day when it's fully announced.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Thank you. And I mean, once again, I actually want to reiterate, right? Like, I have not been suggesting that those crazy APYs gonna run permanently, because of course we've seen how like that would play out in the long run. It's exactly as how you say, right? If you don't know where the yield is coming from, the yield is coming from you, right? So those will eventually collapse. But done in spurts to grow, to bootstrap liquidity into the treasury, especially one that already is mostly in stables, I think probably wouldn't hurt that much, and it will allow Papa to actually use that and flex and transition to the next phase, which then seeks the stability growth. And I think that's
I
just
really
going to be a
appreciate
huge
that.
win.
I really
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
that.
Thank you, Home. Great questions and good stuff. Crypto news. Looks like you're the last question that we have. Why don't you go ahead and unmute and what you got?
Hey everyone, my name's Eddie, and
Hey, Eddie.
I have suggestions. I covered projects on my YouTube channel, and I did cover this. And because I've been involved in so many projects and in the Discord, so I have some maybe some good suggestions that you could be taking or considering. So I think Papa Day is something that I'll be looking after. But one of the things that suggest that we take advantage of the community that we already have. So we have some paper hands, we have a little bit of FUD, but you have an army that can work for you. And they can work for you if they become like diamond hands. We say this, convert the paper hands to the diamond hands. This can be done by incentives. So that can be an airdrop like Olympus DAO did, and that part of it you get percentage of how much you have, percentage of level you are in the Discord, that means your engagement, how much you retweet, how much you get involved on YouTube, all that stuff. So you have 5% for the level, 5% for doing this, 5% for doing that. This way, you're taking advantage of your own army to start your marketing campaign till you figure, how to do the rest later on. So this way, you're rewarding your own people instead of buying and burning. can airdrop them some, some amounts that will keep them, first of all, holding to this instead of selling. And they're hoping for something in the future that they will get for doing so. So this has been working beautifully in many projects. So that was my suggestion. I hope that you look into it. I mean, Opus DAO did a good job, so that's a lesson that you guys can pick up from there and see how it impacted the whole project.
Thank you for that. Yeah. This is definitely a direction we will be looking at, and I really appreciate. I just want to take this opportunity to say that I really appreciate all the suggestions that our community have put forward in our suggestion channel. We understand that there may be some issues, some good, some bad during the past 2 weeks, but we really are working and we really are listening. So so keep them coming, and we will continue to look into it and respond and build and execute.
Great. Okay, it looks like we had one more question that came up, so I'm bringing this last person up. Crypto News, if you want to just go back to the audience, I'd appreciate that. Great feedback for them, though. I think they should listen to you in that aspect and really use their army, or either use their raving fans to really help get the word out. What you got, Mr. Jugyo Plug? What's good?
Hey man, all I gotta say is pop it to the moon, buddy.
Love it, man. Love it.
To the meta moon.
To the meta moon, yeah. All
That's
the way,
good,
baby.
man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Did you have any other questions, or you just want to say pop it to the moon? I don't mind that at all.
Oh, just pop it to the moon, buddy.
All right, brother. Nice. Hey, well, actually, guys, when we started the AMA, I think the Papa Treasury was that like maybe 5.5, 6 million. Now you guys are back over 8 million. So obviously, the questions that you've answered and the people have listened are actually getting back into the project, putting more into it. So I think the AMA was a very big success. I think we all understand your project a lot better now. And I think you have a lot of fans in the audience right now that want to see you guys succeed and where you guys are going to take this thing. Is there anything that maybe I haven't asked or the audience haven't asked that you guys would like to comment on or say? Have we missed anything that's important? Please give us one more chance to see if there's anything that we've left out.
I can bring one up actually. Like I thought it'd be the front running question, but hasn't been brought up and it hasn't been avoided either. But something we're just getting all the time is why the team has chosen to be anonymous and why we haven't actually KYC'd ourselves or one of the members on the multi-sig contract. So it's something that's coming up all of the time, but there is actually some pretty strong reasoning behind it. So it is something that we'd like to address, and part of it is the actual jurisdictions that we're operating in. Some of our members actually, or some of our team members physically can't KYC, because I think you can sort of figure out why that might be. Obviously, crypto's, even like banned in a lot of areas, but certainly staking rewards and things like that are, governments are still undecided as to how these elements should be treated from tax purposes to regulation, really how DAOs will be treated, I guess, by law enforcement in certain areas as well. There's just a diverse range of, government viewpoints on these emerging technologies that we really are a little bit cautious, and some of those, and we feel like there will be further regulation coming in future as well, which may vary depending on where our team members are situated. So that's the primary reason. But there's a number of others as well. Like we are obviously going to look to do that because as we grow, it's a major sign of trust if we do have at least one member KYC'd either by a third party organization or just publicly known. But that said, there's been plenty of docs teams that that have had issues. So it doesn't mean necessarily just because you have a docs team it's a trustworthy one. There's been lots of really well-intentioned publicly known teams that have gone on to disappear, get hacked, or through some either incompetence, or I might speculate that there might have been other reasons. But I can say that I was a community member and it was a concern of mine as well. But as I've gotten closer to Sushi, I'm extremely confident. I'll just say that, and that all I will say is that we haven't gone extensively. I feel like the team hasn't gone extensively out of our way to be anonymous. So should anything go bad, I'm sure that we'll be easily identified. But at this point in time, it just doesn't make sense for us to publicly dox ourselves.
No, I respect that. I mean, you look at Ohm, right? And they don't really have a docs member too, but if you guys can work towards the future, I know regulation, especially here in America, Congress is kind of starting to learn exactly what crypto is and the benefit and all this other stuff. And so I think the world does have a little bit ways to go on regulation, and I can respect what you guys just said and what you brought up. So. Yeah, we'll look forward to hopefully seeing a docs member eventually. But that was a really good, not excuse, but very good thought, I would say, about it. Sushi, did you have any not closing arguments? We're not in court. Do you have any closing comments or anything like that you'd like to say before we end this?
Yeah, I think I'll say a few things. I am extremely overwhelmed and grateful for the amount of support that we have achieved and received during these 2 weeks. Maybe not 2 weeks yet, but I'm really thankful for it. And now we have a lot of responsibility in the shoulders, in the team shoulders. So we will try our best, and we will continue to build and execute. And of course, because we are operating in such an environment, community feedback is equally important. So if any papa or anyone out there who have some suggestions, please feel free to talk about it in our Discord. And if anyone who would like to contribute to our project, by that I mean marketing, development, design, or any kind of useful contribution that you may find useful to the Papa team, please feel free to DM me. I'm always happy to talk, but I just would like to sorry in advance that I may not reply to all DM immediately, because I do get a lot of them. And yeah, I think that's it. That's it for me. And also my last point is I really thank Crypto Sensei and Crypto Nerds for hosting this AMA. It is really a great pleasure of being here to talk about vision and our development with a wider community. So yes, I think myself and the team are extremely grateful. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Mark. Did you have anything last that you wanted to say before we end here?
No, I just want to thank the community that's been so strong in supporting us, both positively and negatively. I think it's we haven't been around very long, so I guess that's why we've got some criticism. So it's completely understandable. But the longer that we're in market, I think we're going to get those loyal fans, and we're going to grow the positivity in the community over time. It's just been so early that obviously it's a bit up and down, and obviously with the market price at the moment, it is that way. But I just really encourage people to stay the course and do believe in the devs and the team, because we are real and we are working, and I've seen that firsthand. So I do think that this is really has a long way to go from here, and we really appreciate all the feedback and suggestions that people are putting forward, because we do want to implement them. You may not see it implemented immediately because obviously we are a small team, but that said, there are benefits to being a small team, and that we will be essentially quite nimble in other areas and may be able to take advantage of that soon, but also looking to grow. So just really encouraged by the positivity, those positive members of the community who have been helping, but also the criticism as well, because I think it's going to really help us grow in future. And really, we've only grown off organic growth at the moment. It's been sort of really just word of mouth, a few tweets, a couple of YouTube videos, if that. So really the sky's the limit for Papa, and let's keep it moving forward.
Yeah, I think that
To the
this
Metamoon.
AMA was a very good start. What was that, Sushi?
To the Metamoon.
Yeah, to the moon, man. No, you guys have laid it out really well. I think we all have a very good understanding of Papa. You guys spent almost an hour and a half on here talking about your project. I think it's a great project. I'm invested. I plan to hold for the long term here, and so I'll be looking forward to that Papa Day, whatever that is. I'll be looking forward to that. And I really appreciate your time, gentlemen. Thank you for your project. Thank you for bringing it to us and helping us understand what it is. And we look forward to having you guys back for an update when you guys get done with phase 2 and when you guys have more stuff to talk about. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. We look forward to it.
All right, boys. Thank you so much, guys. You guys have a wonderful day and get some sleep. I know it's late wherever you guys are. So take care.
Thank
okay?
you.
Sure is.
Thank you. Sure
Thank
is.
you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
Bye.
guys. All right. Thank you guys for listening. If you're not from here or you're not a Kryptoneer member, this is what we do pretty much all week long. We bring in projects to discuss. So, you know, if you want to join, we'd love to have you. We have about 1,700 paid members right now. We have a team of 30 people that research everything for crypto. We even are bringing on a full audit team too. So if you guys have any questions, just let us know. Until next time, thank you guys so much. Take care.